Meet Maya. Maya is a master baker. But if you watch her work, you'll notice something missing. She doesn't use a timer. She doesn't measure her flour. She doesn't even use a recipe. Instead, she knows exactly when her bread is ready to bake, based entirely on how the dough feels in her hands. She relies purely on what we call a gut feeling. This brings up an interesting question. Is Maya's gut feeling just a lucky guess, or does her instinct actually count as real, verifiable knowledge? This leads us into a part of philosophy called epistemology. If you look at this visual map of the brain, you'll see how philosophers try to act like detectives for the mind, mapping how we move from not knowing something to knowing it for sure. To elevate Maya's instinct to actual knowledge, we have to find its justification, the logical bridge that connects her hands to her brain. Philosophers generally use 3 different frameworks to figure out if we can trust what we think we know. This chart lays out those 3 theories of justification. The first is foundationalism. This is knowledge built step by step on solid, undeniable facts. In a kitchen, that's like knowing your oven will eventually bake your bread because you have the basic bedrock fact that fire produces heat. The second framework is coherentism. Here, beliefs fit together to form a complete picture. You know the bread is done because the smell, the golden brown color, and the ticking timer all point to the exact same conclusion. Then there's reliabilism. This means you trust a method because it consistently gives you true results, even if you can't see how it works inside. Think about trusting a digital meat thermometer. You don't need to understand the electrical wiring inside the gadget to know the temperature reading is correct. That brings us back to intuition. A gut feeling is essentially biological reliabilism. Maya's brain acts just like that highly calibrated thermometer. In a fraction of a second, her mind processes years of hidden data, the humidity of the room, the exact elasticity of the flour, and delivers a fully justified gut feeling. But physical practice, like baking, is one thing. What about things we've never physically experienced? Can we have a valid gut feeling about something completely abstract? This quiz question highlights a concept called ethical intuition. Look at option C, knowing that murder is wrong even though you've never experienced it. Humans possess a deep moral compass that tells them inflicting harm is wrong without ever needing to test it. That internal alarm bell is the exact same kind of rapid, gut-level push notification as Maya's baking instinct. However, these fast-acting alarms have a major flaw. What happens if Maya is tired, distracted, and just randomly guesses the bake time? Her intuition breaks down, and the result is a culinary disaster. Because our internal signals can be so easily derailed by stress or random guessing, we can't trust them blindly. We need a way to filter out the noise and set strict boundaries. To do that, we can use this framework from researcher Joel Pearson. This slide outlines his 5 rules for using intuition. Think of it as the ultimate safety manual for your gut feelings. Rules 1 and 2 state that you cannot rely on intuition when you are highly emotional, and you can only use it in areas where you have extensive past experience. If you've never baked a day in your life, you don't have baking intuition. Rules 3 and 4 warn us about biology and math. A physical craving for a donut is a bodily urge, not an intuitive insight, and your gut cannot predict random probabilities like a coin flip or a lottery ticket. Finally, Rule 5. Intuition is tied directly to context. Maya has masterful instincts when it comes to yeast and flour, but that doesn't mean she has the intuition to diagnose a broken car engine. When we follow these guidelines, intuition reveals itself as a rapid-fire calculation that runs strictly on a foundation of deep experience and recognized patterns. So the next time you get a strong gut feeling about a decision, run it through these 5 rules. That way, you'll know exactly when you're just taking a wild guess and when you are tapping into genuine, reliable knowledge.